What is up, guys? In this video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build for the first time in Chapter 5 Season 3. I am very interested to see how these games play out from the spectator perspective and not being someone who's actively, playing in the match. Also, really do not know where I want to land for this, because you would think, land at the boss POI. We'll see. But I feel like, I don't know, these POIs are very strange. I don't really enjoy any of the new, boss POIs. Obviously, Nitrodrome is its own thing, but, even Rig, every time I come here, I have, the most difficult time finding loot. I'm not a fan of this POI at all, but, hopefully we end up spectating someone who lands at this POI and gets the medallion and gets to play a bit aggressive, because I do think of the boss medallions, this is the one that I would like to have the most. And then the combat arrow is very good. I know a lot of people really love that gun. But of the mythic items, I think the gloves is the one I would want to have most. But let me know in the comments down below which medallion and which mythic item you like the most. Seems to be a lot of people landing here, luckily, though. Alright, we're going to be on board with Billy. He's rushing the boss right away. This could be very risky. So he's going to shoot at the boss and then zip up in hopes that the boss chases them, because that's what they should do. And then he's going to try to get an isolated fight with the boss that way. But they didn't clear the POI at all, and they really didn't get any loot aside from this enforcer art. So if they do get interrupted by anybody else, it's going to be hard for them to play the game. You see now they're already down to 10 ammo. I don't even know if they have enough to kill the boss. And there always needs to be somewhat of a balance in your mind, I think, when you come to these boss POIs, between eliminating the boss quickly and getting the medallion, and then also getting loot and being able to play the game. Because you see there, that person really didn't even get to play the game, I feel like. They got a gun, they zipped up, and then they killed some AI, and then they died to a third party while there was another player on them also. There was a gingerbread lady on there. And so that's why I think it is a little bit better to at least get some loot. I feel like that player rushed the boss too quickly. And like I said before they died, even if they got the medallion, I think they would have quickly been back to the lobby by a third party anyways. They had no ammo to even kill the boss. Someone just died here. What the heck? He died to fall damage. We need these boogie bombs. That fizz also that fizz will be nice. Sounds like it's a player potentially dropping on them though. I don't know where the boss went. Someone else just died to fall damage. Okay, there's the boss. There's somebody zipping to their left though that they have to be worried about. And with them using their shotgun on the boss, it's not going to be loaded now. They don't even get any of the items. I don't know what happened to those boogie bombs. This is maybe going to be a death. There was boogie bombs on the ground there, though, earlier. And I was going to say, if they had those boogie bombs, they could maybe boogie this person and then reload their shotgun and then fight them. But they didn't take the boogie bomb that was down there. And they end up eliminating the boss, but they don't get the medallion or the gun. I believe the medallion is still downed as well. There's a bit of a delay on the map when it comes to the medallion getting picked up. But it seems like it's still there. I guess the machinist, or the person that came in, didn't know where the boss got downed at or something, or they had a bigger problem. There's the boogies, and there we go, GG's. Took a little bit too long to loot, and they end up getting eliminated. I guess this person was maybe still baiting it. I don't even know. These boogies are good, though. Personally, I would really like to have boogie bombs this season just to force people out of cars. I'm excited for when they get bolted and EMPs come back in. But just, being able to get boogies and then decide that somebody's not in a car anymore is really, really helpful. Especially this season if you want to get the medallions. Because a lot of times, all the medallions just kind of meet up at Nitrodrome for whatever reason. Not this season because the other one's on patrol. But you can just go there, medallion that player, and then get an easy elim and get that medallion as well. And I find a lot of times when I land, Grim or Pleasant, by the time I get to Nitrodrome, there's already a player with, 1 or 2 medallions, and then I can just easily kill them and get the medallion. So it's, I feel like the boogies not only counter cars, but they made it very easy to just get, a lot of the medallions, or to kill somebody who has all the medallions. Because a lot of times they're in that mythic car. Not sure what this person is doing. I feel like the most random things happens when I make these spectating videos. Let me know. How likely it is do you think you'd be playing the game? Somebody gets health medallion and mythic combat AR, and then you just stumble upon them not playing the game like this. I think it's very unlikely. Sounds like a lot is going down underneath them with gloves. It sounds like people are melee fighting. He moved a little bit. Maybe signs of life. We'll swap and then back to them. Maybe he's nervous about the spectator. This person is camping a bush. Nice solid loot though. Still not playing. Oh, they disconnected, I think, or backed out. Maybe not. Thought I heard the noise of someone like despawning. Yeah, no, they're not in the game anymore. I'm so confused. Alright, we're gonna spectate red, I guess. I am very, very confused with what just happened. Because it made the noise like they weren't in the game anymore, and then I spectated them, and it was like the loot on the ground, and then I went back, and then as I left, their body was there. Like, I don't know what has happened, but we'll see if that player gets involved in the game later on. But I feel like I have the worst luck when it comes to making these spectating videos and just like random things like that happening. But I would love if it happened like while I was playing. If someone got that medallion and they just decided to like, you know, stand there with it, I'd appreciate that. So this person is gonna get the radio tower. This is fine. There might be somebody here though. Yeah, I was gonna say this car doesn't spawn there. So like once you see that car, you should expect to see another player. The player was spectating that's a boogie bomb stuff. So like, okay, they're gonna fight this. They say if the person gets in the car, they could easily boogie them, and they boogie each other. This is one of the things that's like rough about boogies is I think they traded there, but a lot of people are like they get too attached to the boogie bomb and then like end up hitting themselves as well. I don't know what he's doing. Just get the kill. There's like oh no, the Clara had boogied themselves. But yeah, I guess what I was saying did happen, where they got too attached to the boogie, and that's the only reason that Clara was able to survive, because the Clara also had got too attached to the idea of using the boogie bombs, and then ended up hitting herself. I don't know the name of this skin. Is it May? She hit herself while this May wasn't doing anything, and so she could have pushed up and then like killed the Clara for free. Maybe they end up getting third party and it wouldn't have been good anyways, but like if you use boogie bombs, and I think they are very good and they're good to counter cars, like kind of knowing when to use it and when to just fight, I think it's very important. And also like being good enough at throwing them to where you just don't hit yourself super often. Getting this radio tower is good. I kind of place less emphasis on forecast this season because we have really good mobility in like the cars and the gloves, and so like getting zone I feel like isn't as important, but it's still helpful to have. It's not like forecast ever hurts, but it's like in a meta where there's like not as much mobility, or like, you know, shockwaves where like they go like it's a consumable, so like you don't want to have to use them to get to zone or like to get to a decent spot in zone. I feel like forecast really matters in times like that, or like the advantage it gives you is bigger. But like this season, there's so much good mobility that it's like if zone goes uphill or like whatever, it's like it's really not that big of a deal. Like the gloves are so good. Also, what I was gonna say was when she was initially pushing that Clara on the hill the first time, if you're pushing someone that's next to their car like that, I would get ready to boogie them like from this guy, because a lot of times when you're pushing somebody, they'll just get in the car. Like it was like a very strange fight from both players. But I feel like a lot of times if there's a player next to a car and you're kind of pushing them with gloves, they'll just get it in the car, which is good because then you can just boogie them. And then you have an easy kill. Wait, Snowy is still playing the game. I saw him get a kill in the kill feed. Don't know what happened there. They're going back for their mythic car here. They have no boogie bombs. They got the turret though. And this is kind of... I'm just going to mute the gameplay because it's loud. This is what I was worried about with making spectating videos this season. It's like, is it just going to be players in cars spraying each other with the turret? I don't find car fights to be very skillful or very entertaining to watch or anything like that. Snowy here has a problem though. Their car is very weak. Getting that cactus would heal it a little bit, and they're going that way anyway, so I feel like they should have gotten that cactus. Same with this one. It's not like it makes a huge deal, but it's better. They ran that Lara Croft over. I don't know if they got damage on it or what. Another little health here. You always got to be careful now with like boogies in the game though. Oh, I thought he was about to get boogied there. I feel like you do not want to play like this with the cars right now. Because, like, the running the people over is, like, really OP. But if that Laura Croft had boogie bombs, then Snowy's probably back in the lobby. Like, just being incredibly close to people like that with the car makes you a very easy target for boogie bombs. And people still, like, kind of have too much confidence with it. And, like, obviously, boogies are temporary. They will get vaulted and EMPs will come in. But, like, I think the same is true when EMPs are in the game. I think it does, like, 75 or 80 shield damage per EMP. So, like, chuck 2 EMPs at the car, it can't move anymore, and now that player has no shield. Like, I feel like EMPs will maybe be, like, maybe not as OP as boogies, but, like, OP in a different way. They have Mythic Cerberus Shotgun. Personally, I don't like running the Cerberus Shotgun and the Combat AR. I feel like if I do have the shotgun with 3 rounds, I'm more likely to want to use the burst. Like, it can be good, but, like, if you use all 3 and don't get the kill for whatever reason, like, going to the Combat AR as a spray weapon, I feel like just isn't as great as, like, a Thunderburst. So if I am going to use the Combat AR, I very much like having a Gatekeeper Shotgun with drum mag on it. And the Gatekeeper Shotgun is still very much my preferred shotgun of choice this season. They have the heal medallion and the unlimited ammo medallion. I'm pretty sure this is an AI in the water there. Oh, the sound is bugged and we don't hear the turret. How lovely. I actually very much appreciate that. Okay, nice. I think Snowy wins this. Nitro medallion is still over here, so maybe there's hope that that player is decent, but... Mythic car, they got good weapons, they got gloves, they got medallions. I think the one thing that is really going to cost them is, like, they are playing in a way that is very susceptible to getting boogied. Like, they're playing way too confident with this car, and that is going to immediately backfire on them if the opponent uses boogie bombs. See what they do here. So you can shoot the car. Okay, that's what I'd say. If you're in that situation and you're in the gunner seat, you can, like, just shoot the car from the driver's seat and destroy it like that if that's what you want to do. Just to make something happen in that fight. 7 opponents remain. Is Island spawning? So it looks like the Nitro player is going for Island. They might not be. They might be pushing towards Snowy. I would want to go Island, though. I really like going Island this season. People still can get there with the car, but, like, I feel like if you're on Island and someone riffs up with a car, it's, like, way easier to play against that car, especially if you have boogie bombs. It's, like, the freest time ever to boogie them if you're already on one of those roofs. And then they riffed onto there with a car. Someone shooting is right. I think it's an AI, though, just the way they shot. Yeah. Like, that's a free kill. It's nice, but we'll see. It'd suck to get, like, third-party killing an AI. They're also close enough to the green water where, like, personally here, I would want to use my gloves and get some green water dashes. I feel like the dashes are... They were incredible last season, but they're incredible this season, too, because they counter a lot of the annoying things in the game right now. Like, if someone's spamming the fist melee at you, having dashes to dodge that is great. In a shotgun fight, having dashes to dodge that is great. If someone's trying to drive at you with a car, like, dashes are great to dodge that. If someone's trying to boogie bomb you, like, having dashes is great to dodge that. So, like, I feel like dashes are arguably better this season than last, and less people have them. So I feel like that also makes them kind of better in a way where, like, people expect it less. Maybe they don't, but, like, I feel like that people don't think about the dashes as much this season. There's a player under them there. It sounds like they're on the staircase. So kind of that direction. If they had the Nitro medallion, they could kind of sprint into these walls and break it, but the other player is the one with the Nitro medallion. They might be up in this corner, actually. We could break... Okay, yeah, they were. They get the kill, GG's. That was, like, nice shotgun shots. Now they have all the medallions. They have the mythic gloves. Are they going to go for... I personally am not a combat fan. Like, a lot of people like it, though. Like, I don't think it's just, like, terrible, but, like, I much prefer the gatekeeper to the combat. I feel like some people get kind of, like, baited in by the fact that it's mythic, but they probably won this game anyways, from what I've seen. Like, this is kind of a questionable lobby. So it might not matter what shotgun they use at this point. I think they're capturing island just to cap it. We'll see if they get the deagle, which is the mythic you get from capturing island this season, is a mythic hand cannon. And it's good. The hand cannon's actually quite good this season. It got a buff to its bullet travel speed, and I think the bullet drop where it's like, not quite hit scan, but it feels a lot more like hit scan this season than before. But it's just like, I feel like it's not the meta for it with how much mobility we have in the game and how much people are in cars and stuff. Like, the hand cannon's good, but there's just other things I'd rather use this season. But it definitely feels a lot better to use now. Somebody at this gas station in a car. Looking at the rift. You're just gonna land on this, but they don't have boogies to force them out of the car, so they have the bow to counter cars. But the difference between the boogies and the bow, I feel like, is the boogies are an immediate counter to somebody in a car. You throw the car, they're out of it if you hit the car, right? Whereas like the bow, it's like a counter over time. And you see that this is a May from earlier. They hit the boogie, and then this has gone, you know, not great for Snowy here. Imagine if Snowy had a boogie, they land on the roof, boogie the car, and then May doesn't even probably get to play the game. They're getting bursted. I don't know if that's the May or a different person that's bursting them there. They should be fine to reset this fight, though, especially having the shield medallion. The regen up to 75. Okay, another full shield. But you saw how much, like, how that almost went poorly for them, you know? And I was kind of talking about earlier about how this player wasn't really... seeming like they were playing that like, without boogies in mind. And so they get in that car, they think the person is, like, safe to just shoot, but, like, the May gets out, boogies the car. And I think if that fight happens on land, like, not in the green water, like... I think it really could have gone either way, to be honest. But that's, like, not good for the Snowy, you know? Like, you can just immediately lose the game to boogie bombs like that. There's somebody in front of them here. I think. Yeah, that's that May again. I guess that's why they went for the combat shotgun instead of the gatekeeper, because if they're in very close range, they're just going to use the fist, which unfortunately is viable this season. The fist melee is very good. Nice. Spectator is bugged. Like, they're not aiming like this. It's just like when spectating people, sometimes aim is a little bugged. GG's. I think that Snowy here wins. That was probably the one player that maybe could have cost them. I think that the May went for a boogie there and they just didn't hit it. One thing you can do, so like when Snowy was kind of dashing up at them here at this rock, if the May went up with their gloves, like they did an uppercut and then threw the boogie down, then potentially Snowy loses the game. They can use dashes here. Oh no. All right, I don't like how that Anonymous played that off the boogie, but it works. I feel like boogieing somebody and then just taking a DPS trade fight like that is rough. The boogie bomb, the way it works is once you damage somebody, they're not boogied anymore. So like typically you want to hit a hard shot when the person can't return fire. It works, but that was like messier than it needed to be. And if the final player was like, I think the final player is probably a bot, but if the final player was more like adamant about third partying, this player would have lost. Like no question about it, you know? One thing I also want to say is that Snowy had dashes. And when you are boogied, you can use the dashes. So they maybe could have dashed over towards this building. And this technique that we're currently spectating, it took them a while to even shoot at Snowy after boogieing. So Snowy could have gotten to that house, I think, and then like looked back, probably beamed the technique, and then like pushed off that damage. It sucks to lose like that, but it's kind of fitting. I was like, I don't know. Part of me kind of likes when I make these videos and I like talk about like certain things that could cost a player based on how they're playing, like that player not really playing with boogies in mind or respecting boogies as much, and then it does like immediately cost them. Anytime someone has high ground on you right now, it's very bad. Like instead of walking up that hill, I feel like you want to use your gloves and just not be on the ground near the person. Technique has no more boogie bombs though. The other player is playing off the crossbow well. I'm surprised this final player is a real person, because just with how that fight happened, I feel like when it's a 1v1v1 and 2 fight, the third person is always going to be like on top of third partying it, especially a fight like that where all the medallions are dropped and it's just like 2 players trading damage. There's a Nuka-Cola in the storm right there. That'd be huge for this player. It gives you white and blue. It gives you 25 white immediately, and then it gives you blue over time. It gives you 75 blue over time. And so he'll get to 100 here, but he'll keep regenerating health. So if he takes any damage in the meantime, it will regenerate for him, which is great. Seems like that's not going to happen. But even then, that 25 white health is pretty helpful. Like, the next fight is going to decide the outcome of the game. So I feel like just taking that for the white and not being greedy about it was definitely the play to make. No, the person, you just saw them. Oh my god. The person is like on those islands in the water right now. He turned away at the worst time. Right here. So this fight, I feel like favors the bow user, but over time, the technique that we're spectating, things will get better for them. So I feel like you just want to tap at them and annoy this person. You want to get some damage on them. You don't want them getting on you for free. Like that time when they were in the sky, like the technique should have been shooting. And even when they were on the hill, they could have shot, like, peeked, shot a few shots, and then went back into cover. Just waste as much as that person's time. But you see here, the other player got into zone for free. So, like, the fact that the technique had zone early, it just doesn't even really benefit them. They did nothing with it. It is hard to hold people this season because of the dashes in this area and just the gloves, and then there was a car there as well. But I think they could have at least gotten some damage and then maybe been able to do something. But just nothing happens in this zone. Which is, like, maybe okay. Nothing happened. They didn't lose the game. But, like, getting 80 damage on the person when they're in the sky, like, on that rotation, maybe could have been enough pressure to, like, soften them for later or just end the game there. And, like, this combat AR is ridiculous. Like, I'm sure a lot of you have used it. Like, you can get fried very easily with it. I think they're playing the top of this hill, but I could be wrong. I don't like the way this person looks around. It actually, like, gives me anxiety. I feel like they're like kind of too worried about zone. Same thing as earlier. You want to hit a shot or two. Don't expose too much to get bowed. But when storm is on this person and they're very much pressured, you want to take advantage of the fact that you got zone early and beam them. Especially having this mythic AR. I don't... Again. Okay, it works out. Dash, dash. Okay, they didn't use their dashes. I'm pretty sure they had dashes. If they dashed backwards when this person was trying to melee with them with the fists, I think they win the game there. That's unfortunate. I think that game was very winnable. I think if they were paying more attention to where the enemy player was, they might have gotten more damage as the person was getting to them. You saw they beamed them. Like, the thing I was talking about the entire time eventually happened. But once the fist fight broke out, I feel like the technique that we were spectating had dashes and they just didn't use them if they dashed to the side or if they dashed backwards, because I do have the combat shotgun with a lot of range. The person with the fist is going to miss their attack and then, like, the game is over at that point. That's also kind of why I like the gatekeeper shotgun, because unfortunately a lot of fights do just kind of divulge into that, and I feel like if somebody is on you with the fist, I would much rather have the gatekeeper shotgun than the combat. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. I do think there was a lot of, like, little helpful points about, like, kind of playing around boogies with the car, how to play in game like that, how to avoid getting boogied, what to do when you are boogied, what to do when you're getting meleeed with the fist. Not as much as in the earlier mid game, but I think a lot of, like, the later on stages of the game there was a decent amount to learn from. So give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you like to see more. Let me know down in the comments below which medallion do you think is best and which mythic item you think is best. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.